All right, nerds, this is the sorry little leftover bit of lettuce from an organic living lettuce, butter lettuce thing. And I'm going to show you how to turn that into that, because that was that about a month ago. So just if you're interested, keep an eye out. The first step in converting this little sucker is this guy. Not Planters peanuts. You don't have to have peanuts, but you need to have some kind of a jar, be it mayonnaise or something else. You're going to want to remove this little paper thing from the inside, which is why we have this little knife. And then we're going to put a hole that fits a hydroponic net cup right in the middle of that. We now have a hole in our Planters peanut jar that will fit a hydroponic net cup. Now these net cups are 2 inches long and 2 inches wide, or in diameter that is. And you just use a 2-inch hole saw, drop that in there, fits perfect. Now, what I've also done with this container is I have covered it in tape. This one has super thin duct tape on it. It's kind of a lower quality tape. But I've used like 3 layers here. On this one, I've only used 1 layer. This is not duct tape. I forget what it's called. But it's like a almost a canvas version of duct tape. Anyway, so mayo jar, Planters peanuts jar, holes for each one, 2-inch net cup. Now the next thing that we have to do is we're going to cut the bottom out of this little wagon wheel so that we can take the actual existing root structure from these lettuces that we bought from the store, that we washed in this beautiful water, and drop them in there. So that'll be the next thing. So the little wagon wheel that was in there has been cut out and removed, and we're going to go ahead and slip our lettuce in this way, you know, green side up, as they say. And then we're going to drop the whole thing into one of these, and then we have to check the level of the actual solution there. Now I don't know how easy that is to see, but you can see the level is a little bit too low. You want it to be basically hitting the very bottom of that net cup. So we're going to adjust the level in there before we put the lettuce in there. We'll drop the lettuce in, and then we'll see what happens. All right, so here's a good indication of the level that you want it. You can see the bottom edge of that net cup is just touching the water. You can actually see the actual fluid tension there showing up as well. Same thing with this one. It's just barely touching the edge of the bottom of that net cup. The reason that's important is you're going to take these lettuces that you bought at the store, and you've already cleaned the roots off in that nasty water down there to get as much of the dirt off as you can. And you're going to set them in there, but they're not going to sit fully into the solution. They're going to sit a little ways up in the net cup. So some of these roots are going to expose to oxygen, and some of them are actually going to be down in the solution. And the reason for that is it's a Kratky method. Now, I didn't come up with this shit on my own. I'm not that smart. But a lot of these little tiny, super fine hair-like roots will actually pop out and start absorbing oxygen, and then the longer ones will go down and they'll spider off, and they will actually absorb the hydroponic solution itself. And once again, through the magic of technology, we have teased these through. You can see there's a portion of the root ball that's not actually going to touch the liquid, and then there's a portion below the bottom of that net cup. And all you got to do is drop them in there, and they do the rest. So same thing, a little bit of roots above there for oxygen, more of the roots below the net cup. This had a better set of roots than the other one. And then we're just going to kind of spin this sucker in here like I'm putting on a wire nut and drop that bad boy in there. Now these got just store-bought butter lettuce, the organic living lettuce that you buy from the store. And I don't know if organic matters or not, but that's what I've always bought for the guinea pigs, just because that's what they have. So yeah, this is, believe it or not, this whole process is to get me a salad every once in a while, and then mostly just feed the guinea pigs, so I don't have to keep buying heads of lettuce at $3 a piece. So anyway, that is the total sum of getting one of these ready. Now you just put it under some lights, or you put it outside if it's used to that. Don't just put it straight outside. If it hasn't been outside in months, if it's been living in your fridge, you're just going to burn it and it's going to die. So you got to acclimate it to the sun. So put it under some lights inside, start putting it outdoors for a couple hours a day in the low sun, and then kind of gradually bring that up, and then you'll have lettuce. Prove that I'm not crazy and that this does work. These are all butter lettuces that all started out looking the same as the other ones, and now they're in a big old, this is only a 12-gallon tote. If I'd have known better, I'd have got a bigger one because I figured 6 cups would fit fine in here. Also, there's no damn reason I should have spaced them perfectly other than my own OCD. I should have actually set these end ones over a little bit more because there'd be have more room for the butter lettuce. But as you can see, I mean, this is butter lettuce that would have got thrown in the compost or the garbage. And this is what the roots look like. And all they do is they sit in this tank of solution. And I mean, the one in the back, man, look at those roots. Jeez. And this one's not doing so great. It didn't spend much time in the incubator like the other ones did. So this one may end up getting swapped out for one of the other ones if it doesn't start performing a little better. But the black nasty roots there, that's not helping out a whole lot. It's the pretty white ones that you want. So anyway, so that's growing lettuce in a bucket. And by the way, this method isn't limited to lettuce. This is cilantro that I actually planted in a little rock wool cube that grew roots. I did the exact same thing with it. Bottom of the net cup, except the rock wool cube, which is this, was actually touching the solution. And the roots just grew, and this thing grew, and now I've got fresh cilantro as long as I want it, grown indoors underneath artificial lighting. So that goes back under there with the rest of my incubators. It's a little homemade light that I made. It's probably not as good as something you could buy in the store, but it works for my purposes. So this one, not doing so great. Sometimes they just don't take, but anyway, that's it. One more tip that I have with these lettuces, and anything else that you're growing Kratky hydroponic style, they'll get these nice root bundles at the bottom. The problem is, it goes back to what I was saying before about some of the roots are actually absorbing oxygen, whereas some of them are actually absorbing the solution. So when these things inevitably run out of water, if you don't harvest the plant completely, because we don't, we use the cut and come again, which is, you know, you cut off a leaf or two and then you just leave it and you let it regrow. Then you cut off more leaves and you leave it to regrow, and you know, they last for a long time that way. But only fill it up about halfway is what I'm going for. So don't fill the container back up to the bottom of these net cups, right? Because then you're starving it of oxygen. So we only want to fill it up to about halfway of the container on a refill. And you want to use your proper hydroponic solution, which I'll add what I use in just a second. But yeah, this is just a shoebox with 6 holes drilled in it. And this is like the secondary level of incubator, I guess, if you want to call it that. I do have an empty slot over there because something died. But yeah, so they go from the individual containers until the roots are ready. They go into something like this, and then they'll move into the big container like that. All right, so I guess I'll end this series with the beginning, or what should have been the beginning. So you're going to take your lettuce and or your cilantro seed, or whatever it is you want to grow hydroponically. I do lettuce and cilantro because that's what I want to grow. And these are rock wool cubes. It's basically fiberglass is what it seems like to me. Each one has a little hole through it, and you can cut apart this thing into individual cubes. You're going to go ahead and soak those in some water for a little while, make sure they fully absorb it, and then go ahead and plant your seeds just directly in the cubes. And then you're going to put them in some sort of I use a plastic food storage container turned upside down to where they're sitting on the lid, and then I use the bottom of it as kind of a humidity dome. Once that's done, and those are all nice and established, we're going to make our hydroponic solution. I told you I was going to tell you what it was. I bought a kit, and it had a whole bunch of shit in it. So once again, food storage containers. Calcium nitrate, 2.4 grams per gallon. Master Blend tomato and vegetable formula, 2.4 grams per gallon. And then Epsom salts, 1.2 grams per gallon. So 1, 2, and 2 of these. I have my cool $10 Amazon scale here, which is pretty nifty because it measures it out real easy. And then I just put it in a gallon jug, a recycled gallon milk jug, and mix it up, and then it's ready to feed everything. So hopefully that answers any questions that you have. I did kind of end with the beginning, but if you actually want to do this, let me know and I'll help.
Thanks for watching this video series. It's the first time I've taken a bunch of composite videos and put them together into one larger video, so I'm still learning all of the intricacies of video editing, and I'm probably pretty terrible at it. If there's any other information that you'd like about this subject or anything else that you've seen on the channel, please put it in the comments, let me know, and I will see what I can do. Again, thanks for watching.